Hello, hello, beautiful stars. Sorry that I met. Well, sorry for being late. Period. I am Cortney, host of Stars of the Morning Light. I am making sure that everything is up and running and working accordingly. I apologize. Not only did I was trying to work with a little bit of a new doohickey for myself to, especially when I forget to charge things. Um, there was also messages from YouTube on the screen, and I actually sometimes read those, sometimes I don't. Whatever. So good morning, happy Friday. Yes, yes, yes. Um, uh, I did not prepare for this, and I am late, so I am expecting a lot of my viewers to come into the chat late as well. I do say hello to my viewers as they mosey on in. Um, and I also want to tell my patrons that I will send emails out today. I have had a pretty busy week. Hello, Elizabeth. Good to see you, Miss Beth. Um, Today, it's going to be a bit of a rant. I did want to get back to the star consciousness, but as some of you know, I'm putting together a benefit for those in Maui, and so I'm having to communicate with more people, even more than I normally am, which I am usually in communication with a lot of people. So good morning, Miss Chloe. Good to see you. Um, and this morning I was on the phone with Lucky Stone, 888, wonderful man, good friend of mine. Met him through the Soul Tribe as well. He, I'm gonna have him tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern time, which is kind of late for us on the East Coast, but it goes to everybody, right? On the Milkyway Soul Tribe show with Robert V. We're going to be discussing Maui and what's going on, especially in Lahana. I have connections that can get stuff to those people without any of the red tape. There's a lot of red tape right now, as I'm sure many of us are learning and understanding. It was already difficult for all of them. Uh, so I have been in more communication than normal. So forgive me, patrons. I have forgotten to send emails, but you guys, man, you're awesome, patrons. You're awesome. You're awesome. You're awesome. Um, Tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be with Robert V talking about all this stuff, asking for people to donate. So I've just been a bit more busy, and I was on the phone this morning with Lucky, asking that while I'm with Robert for him to also put the link in for donations and stuff like that. I was just always, I always got stuff going on. So good morning, seekers, Shelly of Truth, Shelly of Truth. Good morning, Shelly. So thank you everyone for being patient with me. Thank you for, I'm not really prepared for the star consciousness aspect, but it's not like I don't have stuff that I can talk about, right? I was also trying to figure out some new doohickeys to help me with the mic here. Um, as far as the benefit goes, I know, guys, that, and we're going to talk about it a bit today, as far as giving, as far as donating. I know things are tight. Guys, I'm pretty sure today I'm going to go over to the gas station across from me, and I'm going to talk to him, because I just found this out last night. I'll probably start cleaning that gas station at 9 p.m. every night to get my grocery money. I know how bad it is. Trust me, we all live here. We all know. Um, but at the same time, what's really going on there is so devastating. Um, Being in communication with people it's a lot. It's a lot. So even myself, I'm probably only going to be able to donate maybe 20, $30. I'm not asking people to donate a lot of money. It might only be, $5 or something, $2. A little can go a long way. I'm going to end up getting a list of what is actually needed. Because I don't know if it's medical supplies, like just simple Neosporin type stuff. I don't know what is actually needed just yet. And, it could be bars of soap. I mean, we don't know um, what what we need. Um, so when I do that though, do know I do live in the South, and so for me, if it's simple items like that, I can go to the discount grocery store, which is even less than the Dollar Tree, and so a little can go a long way, right? Um, if you want to donate now, there is actually a link in the About section of my page. If you go to my channel, Stars of Morning Light channel, because it's not in the description here. But if you go to the About section, you click on the About section, there is a link to my Stars of Morning Light PayPal donation page. I'm not going to put out there my typical, like, if people want to pay for services through PayPal, because they take a percentage. The donation page, though, they don't take percentages. So if it says Stars of Morning Light PayPal donation, that's where we're going to do it from. So if people need to, I'll be talking about it tomorrow night. If people need to use other avenues, then I can make that happen as well. I'm going to today put something out on Facebook to have links and stuff going there as well. So it's this weekend's the big heavy hitter weekend of trying to at least spread the word, and then I'll be collecting for about 2 weeks, about a week and a half, 2 weeks, and then I have to start purchasing the stuff and getting it to them. Because this is also going to be very underground. Like I said, no red tapes. When I'm on Robert's show, I'm telling everybody now, I will not be speaking about how I will be getting it to people. That I'm not going to, I can allude to a lot of things, but I'm not going to actually speak about how I'm getting it to people. I will be able to get it to people though. We all have people everywhere. We just might not know it. And I think folks, we tend to not ask for help. We tend to not give help. We tend to not think we have anybody around. We do. We do, especially with, the internet thing. So, yes, Robert V is now in the chat. He said he posted for it. Robert, that link is not available, though, with the PayPal. So I was going to contact you, Robert. You got to copy and paste the link a bit better. And I am trying to get my friend Justin, so how this really is happening is, and I guess there's a Hawaiian term for it, and he always referred to me as it, and I don't remember, but basically like sister from another mother type thing. Justin and I have been like brother and sister since we were 16. And for about 20 years, close to about 20 years, he lived on Honolulu. But he was a roadie. He worked in the entertainment industry. He still does. And so how it is with island people, it's kind of the same as how it is with us here in the mainland of, you could be great friends with somebody in the state over and you still see them often. It's not, they just kind of island hop, So when COVID happened there, of course, all entertainment industry stopped, as we know. And so he was way SOL. But regardless of that, I was like, you gotta get to the mainland. You have to get to the mainland. Like, I can't I can't handle you being there anymore, basically. Like, do as I say. I can't do this. My heart's hurting. Um, and he did actually, um, he was able to get a job in the mainland, but he's only been here a little over a year. So all of his family, or not family, but all of his tribe, all of his friends, all of his tribe, other than me, really, are somewhere on a whole mix of those islands. So, how this came to be is that I was watching a few different places, and I will say, Hawaii Real Estate Channel. If you guys haven't seen that yet, of course, his channel was about real estate. He was a real estate guy. But when this hit, he's been really doing his due diligence to inform people what's really going on. And he's raising funds. So I even tried to contact him of like, how can I get actual goods to them? And they said, no, we're just collecting money now, which I talked to a couple other places, uh, and I understand why. Because to get goods to those people is very difficult. Very difficult. And we're learning even more so how difficult it is. So I went, okay, this is just something I gotta do. I gotta, where's the resource, where's my team, where's the resources, how do we make this happen? So I called Justin and I said, listen, I want to put a benefit together for people. I'm not sure how to make this happen, and he was at work, so he couldn't talk fast. But he was like, "Oh God, Gordy, I love you." He's like, "I've been crying for like 3 days now, because I mean, it's tragic." And he said, "Listen, I've got my guys. There's boots on the ground doing stuff, helping, actually helping, not these big box nonprofit that the money really only goes to the top." Trust me, I know the nonprofit world. Holy crap. Um, I started my career out in nonprofit thinking that I was going to help. That is not what that is, especially when you get into the big ones. That is not what that is. And we learned that, if anybody watched the show on Netflix, Ozark, that is what that is. Trust me. It's Anyways, so the money doesn't go anywhere with those people. And so I said, I want to get them goods though, because I know how difficult it is for them to get goods anyways, and the cost of the goods. The cost of the goods on a good given day is insane, because of our laws. So he said, okay. He said, I will contact my buddies. I said, because I'm thinking, I don't know, underwear, socks. Like, I don't know what to. And he said, Cortney, I'll get you a list. Because they are going to know what their people need more than we do in the islands or in the mainland. I said, okay, awesome. That works out even better for me. I want a list. That list has not come yet, but I do know it's because these guys are doing a lot, and they're kind of risking a lot, and they're exhausted, and so it is coming. And there are ways. There are ways. So this is I guess I'm just going to talk about it. So I have been trying. Last night I was meditating with our beloved mother, Moon, the lovely Moon. And I was talking to her about this stuff. And I was talking about with her as to what is to come, right? In the future for certain things that the Akashic has been talking, which I have confirmed with the Akashic now 3 times, because I don't just say stuff. So I was talking with the Moon, meditating with galactic beings, let's say, celestial, lovely beings. And I said, okay, I'm doing the stuff for Hawaii. And they said, yeah. They said, you'll do fairly well, but you know, every little bit helps. Every little bit helps. And I understand that concept. And I said, okay, so what about this other stuff? I said, what can I do? You know, and they said, Cortney, you've already been doing it. And I'm thinking, what do you mean? I haven't even done anything yet. And they said, you've already been doing it. You've been talking to these people for over a year about how to start bartering, how to work within your community. They're like, you've already been doing it. It's not up to you what they do with what you've been saying. But they told me I've already been doing it. And I said, yeah, but what can I do more? What can I do more? Right? And they said, the only thing you can do, Cortney, is continuously tell them how to handle things. And I said, okay, you know, there's not much I can do other than that. Other to help people understand we're not an island unto ourselves. To help people understand that everybody's a part of a community somewhere. Everyone is. Even if they don't think that they are, they are. And I said, what else? And they said, Cortney, you've already been doing it. You've been telling these people that by October they need to know how to stand. They're going to have to stand in their own power. And really, folks, what that truly means of owning your own power, standing in who you are, and what you believe is right, is to also trust. And that's where they quote unquote was like, that's what you need to emphasize more, is not just working within your community and also very much bartering, but working within your community on top of knowing how to trust the universe, trusting the universe. And that, when they said that, I went, I know that's where everybody lacks. I know that already. I can't give people trust. If I could, I'd give you all the trust that I have with the universe. But I know how much of a building and developing of that is. I didn't trust the universe automatically. I didn't trust anybody, period. The majority of the time of my life, I did not trust at all. But there were these moments through my journey that's all I could do. I had nothing else. I had absolutely nothing else. And I could be on the brink of death. And I had nothing else but to trust that the universe was going to not let me die. That I was not going to die in that moment. I was not going to die in those weeks. I was not going to die. And from those type of building blocks, those type of, oh my gosh, supposedly I am loved by someone, by something. I don't know who. I don't really know what this universe thing is, but I'm here for some reason. They're letting me see another day. I don't have a pot to piss in, but if they just kept me alive, I bet you they will provide. It was it was at least over a decade long of me acknowledging where the universe had shown up for me in my youth and how I wasn't going to be perished in my adulthood. Over a decade long of learning. Thank you. Elizabeth just donated. Thank you, my dear. Appreciate you. Namaste. I bow to your light. So, it's not a matter of how easy it is to just trust. And oftentimes it's hard for us to trust something that we don't even know what it is. It's hard for us to trust something that we might perceive failed us because our life was shitty. Our life was shitty so you could have the skills for now. You ever thought of it that way? That beautiful director, which I'm going to totally destroy his name, M. Night Shyamalan. he's like one of my favorite directors, and I never can pronounce his name right. He is a famous, wonderful, great director who has done awesome movies. Think of like The Village. Think of the series that the 3-part villain and hero stuff that was going on. He has always claimed. He also did Signs, right? He's a great director. He's one of my favorites. I can like totally binge watch and have that be an October day that I don't talk to anybody. He always will represent those who have struggled, those who have felt pain, those who are broken a bit. They are the ones that will show up and show us how. They are the ones that understand how to handle things. So I'm not trying to I'm saying heal, but if we've never acknowledged because I know my viewers, if we've never acknowledged that we went through a bunch of bullshit, we went through a bunch of pain, we went through a bunch of hurt to have the skills and knowledge and ability now, for those who might not know how to handle life, then shame on us. Because it's not about us. It's about taking all those that we learned and developed over this time period of this life for this moment, for the next few years. It really is. And also, you beautiful beings of love and light, you've done this a bunch of times. You have skills you haven't even tapped into. You have a knowing that you haven't even tapped into. That you will. It will start popping off for everybody of, I just know what to do. I just know what to do. And it's for now. So a lot of us, especially those, I love saying it, that those who our grandparents were from the Depression, those of us that parents and grandparents, they knew how to live more off the land. They knew how to minimize. They knew, and it could have even been out of negative reasons, right? We know how to do this. So it's different from knowing how to do it, building trust, which I'm going to go back to, opposed to the tragedy that's happening in Maui right now. It is different. And on Robert's show, Saturday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to talk more in depth about how different it is. So, Chloe just said in the chat, and I'm going to say hello to everybody. Coke Queen came in. Chloe's here. Robert showed up. Thank you, Elizabeth, for donating in this moment. This weekend is my big push. And this weekend, and I'll say it again, if you're interested in donating right now, the link is not in the description, but if you go to my channel where the About section is, there is a link for a PayPal donation. That is what I'm using right now. So nothing gets mixed up with, clients paying on other apps, and the money is not taken away either. I want all money to go to this. So thank you. And hello to everyone. Good morning. Good afternoon. I guess if you're over yonder across the pond, it's actually kind of more afternoon, evening. So good day whenever you're seeing this. This weekend is a big push for whatever people can offer. Um, this weekend is in the States here, in our lovely United States of America. You know what's interesting about that too? I'm going to say that. For a couple of years now, I've been like, we ain't so united. We ain't so united, right? Um, which is fine. I mean, everybody can have their own opinion, but man, we are not so united. Um, when stuff like this happens, we can truly see how united we are. When even bigger scopes of things happens, we can truly see how united we are, because it doesn't matter the states. It doesn't matter the states. It doesn't really matter political concepts. We know that people are hurting. It's the same as like we are actually united with everybody. Humanity is united. Humanity is humanity, regardless of where you live or what you think. Humanity is humanity. Um, and it'll be interesting to watch how more united we actually become, right? Regardless of you know, philosophies and political theories. Um, but here in the States, Monday is our holiday, is our Labor Day. In my family, growing up, Labor Day was a big day. I mean, it was always a big party in my house, pretty much all weekend. Pretty much all weekend, because my dad was a concrete laborer, and everybody around us was some kind of laborer. We were a blue collar family. That's really the huge backbone of America is blue collar. It really is. That we are the support, we are the backbone, we are everything. And we know it. Every American knows that as well. I mean, even the white collars and everybody else, they know it. They know it's the blue collar people that keep the ship of America moving. So we get a holiday. Us lovely laborers, we get a holiday. And but also in the representation of that holiday, I want to say there's a lot of people, there's huge, massive amounts of people in Maui, they have lost their jobs. And I will tell you, Maui is, especially in Lahana, where the majority of like, whoa, what happened there? And like I said, we'll be talking about it on Milkyway Soul Tribe on Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. These people have lost their jobs. Their jobs is tourism. I mean, my mother-in-law loved going to Maui. I've never been. I'm sure it's wonderful and great. There's a lot of people. It's tourism. So they are your maids and cleaners, your taxi drivers, your cooks, they're your laborers. They are your pool cleaners, your scuba diver instructors. They are the laborers. You know, they're your construction workers to build the hotels these people stay in. Like my friend Justin, who is connecting me with all these people. Um, he was in the entertainment industry as a roadie. That's labor. Trust me, those cords are, you could be trying to carry a 200-pound cord, you know, just so somebody could see a concert. All those people lost their jobs. And even though I know here in the States it is rough, trust me, this household knows. It's the representation of Labor Day for us is the gratitude and the recognition that the laborers are important. The laborers are very important. We don't have a CEO day. They call it Bosses Day, but Bosses Day goes across the board. They don't have a, you know, Silicon Valley Day. They have a Laborers Day, right? They have a Laborers Day. So, in supportive, not just that. These people have lost their jobs and they are not allowing anyone to come there. Who knows if the tourism that has been their economy for decades now, actually even longer, I mean, it's been their economy for a very long time. For the islanders that have always been there, they are the workers. That's how they put food on the table. For the islanders there, they've lost their jobs. And we're not even allowing people to possibly think about visiting. Um, we have no idea if these people are going to be without work. It's very taxing to think that even through some stuff, a lot of us were able to keep our jobs or even go back to our jobs at some point, right? These people, we have no idea what the outcome is going to be. We have no idea what's really going on. So, in celebration of Labor Day, we can give back to the laborers, because that is where this stuff is going, I can guarantee you. We can give back to those laborers who really have no idea what to do. You know, they just lost a lot of the tourism and it was just picking back up. I remember when, before Justin was able to get to the mainland, this is how important this is. Before my friend Justin was able to get back to the mainland with a new job, he called me up and he said, Cortney, I have a gig on Maui. I'll be able to get the money to get to the mainland. And I was ecstatic because, like I said, for at least over a year, I was like, you got to get to the mainland. Get home, basically get home. And he couldn't get the funds to get home. And him being a roadie, he called me up and he said, Cortney, I got a gig on Maui. They're opening more up and slowly it's been building and now things are coming back. I have a gig on Maui. I'm going to be able to, make enough money. That's how important tourism is at that particular island. Right? That particular island is very much tourism. So, anyways, as we all know this kind of stuff, as we know, Coke Queen, it's good to see you. I see Jules has entered. Good to see you. Okay, so Jules says she's a little bit out of the loop. So, I'll say this and then I'll keep talking about some other stuff. So Jules, on Robert's show, Milkyway Soul Tribe, on Saturday night, tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be doing a fundraiser benefit live show for all the stuff that happened, mostly on Hawaii had a few little fires, but mostly the island of Maui. So it is the fires. I have been keeping up with what is going on. I'm in contact with locals there as to what's really going on. And so, yeah, I normally don't watch the news either, and Jules knows this, and I miss a whole lot of things normally. But my husband kept mentioning this, and the fires. And so I got into it kind of late. And I got into it because something popped up and started explaining what really was going on. And I was kind of interested with that. And then I started going through the rabbit hole. And here we are. If we look into it, and I did some research last night or catching up with numbers and all sorts of stuff, then the numbers are not adding up in any way, shape, or form. Lots of things are not adding up. There's a lot of stuff happening that is not adding up as to why and what's going on. So, like I said, I like the guy. I do believe he's doing a service. There's a channel called Hawaii Real Estate That was what his channel was just to show homes. But since this happened, um, he's really pumping out information for people. And he's helping a lot of people. He's helping people get internet service. Um, there's so many problems, guys. He's helping people put together GoFundMe pages and Venmo pages or Vemos and this and that because there's a lot of older people that never even paid attention to this because of the culture of Hawaii. See, and that's the other thing too. All of those islands, they have a very rich culture, already of taking care of each other. I mean, it's outstanding. My friend Justin, love him dearly, and he probably wouldn't want me to say this. He's been homeless numerous times. Justin, he's that brother of mine. He's that brother. I'm like, damn it, I'm gonna keep you. Yes, yes, yes. Um, so, but in the islands, it's not like he never had a place to stay. In that culture, they even have words for it, of helping, bartering, helping, taking care of one another. And that's what's so sad about this is it's finally, I just saw just last night, that there's going to be some kind of benefit concert. Where it's going to air, when it's going to go, I have no idea. I have no idea. It's going to happen. I guess Eric Clapton's going to play at it. I, I have no idea. And it's tragic that what's going on and how I think people think because it's on the island and we can't physically get there or we can't this and that there's no hope because of all the red tape. No, we can get through red tape. I was born and raised to get through the red tape. Shit, that ain't nothing. In all things in life. Um, I will tell you guys where I'm watching you in the chat will be probably shutting down. I forgot to charge everything last night. Coke Queen says that Michael I'm trying to read is collecting for animals like a 1100 to rate. Yes, it's not just it's the animals, it's all of it. Um, yeah, a lot of people are, yeah, uh, yeah, the animals. I don't even want to go there with that. And that's why it's good that I'm getting a list. I don't know what's needed. We don't know exactly what is actually needed amongst the people. The reason so many people are saying send money is because it is very hard to get goods to the islands. We have laws in the United States who is attached to those islands, right? They are part of our states. We have laws particular to those islands that all goods that are coming from China, Japan, all the goods that normally are just coming here to the States have to travel past the islands, have to travel past Hawaii, sit in California ports before they are inspected, quote unquote, to then go back from whence they came to the islands. And so my friend Justin, when COVID happened, he lost everything and he wasn't really having all that great of a time in the first place because it was a slow build, right? At some point he was like, Cortney, I have no food. I was like, I'm sure you don't. I sent him a box. I sent him like 2 boxes of food. Cost me a fortune to ship. Because I went UPS. I'm doing it different this time. But I was trying to get it straight to him in Honolulu. And he was like, Cortney, that's going to take a long time. And I said, Justin, I don't have any money to give you right now. I can only send you what I got in my cupboard, It took like 2 months from Georgia to Honolulu. It took 2 months. I had no idea when he said, Cortney, it's going to take too much time. I was thinking, yeah, in 2 weeks, you know, your friends are kind of helping you out right now. By the time this comes, you make them, you know, 2 months for just a couple of boxes full of food. We're not going that route this time. We're not doing it that way. And it's because it sat on a flipping crate in California for a very long time period. That is how difficult it is just to get things to these people. Regardless if it's private, commercial, it doesn't matter. That is the laws started after Pearl Harbor. Obama reinforced with a bunch of other stuff those laws in like 2010. These people. So right now, what a lot of them are doing is, even with the $700 that the government's going to give them, they're going to other parts of Maui or onto Hawaii. They're jumping the islands to go to the stores that are there. Well, what happens when those resources are now low? And the government's not really letting anything in. Nor would it matter, because they would be still sitting in the ports of California. And those laws have not been lifted. Those laws are still very much in place. So let's say it does take 2 months. Let's just go off of the 2 months. And all the resources and all the Targets and all the other stores have been, exhausted. What are they going to do? What are they going to do because of our laws? So we will be talking more in depth about this when we further go on. And like Coke Queen said, that the animals and whatnot, on the list that I will be given for what they actually need, there might be, we need some dog food, we need some cat food, that's what I'm saying, folks. I'm not exactly sure. And what's brilliant about this is it's being done in a different way. It's being done in a different way. Because I keep thinking, too, all the people that are collecting money, that's lovely. How are the products going to get there? How are they actually going to get there? I do know ways that men are making it happen, but, right, we got to see what goes on. Because I'm not, so what, the people that are collecting the money to send to an individual that will spread it out, or an organization or whatnot, that is still good and well. Because what would eventually happen is that money goes to the guys that are on the boots on the ground making it happen. I'm going directly to them. Does that make sense? Like some of these people I have just watched, they are having difficulty getting the money that are in their GoFundMes released to them. I just heard that last night, which I already perceived that happening. It's taking a long time. Let's say it's taking a long time when it should just be a few clicks of the button, right? It's taking a long time. Longer than it should be. There's stuff that's going on. So we will be talking more in depth on Robert's show tomorrow night. Whew. So I've been going and going. I've been going and going about this. So my beloved patrons, I know I've missed some emails. Forgive me. Elizabeth Beth, she donated this morning by listening to me. Thank you, my dear. I appreciate it. Like I said, I'm not asking anybody to break the bank, but like tomorrow night on Robert's, there could potentially be 100 people that see that video. If those 100 people donated $20, I can get a lot of goods to folks. Like I said, I live in the South. We have discount grocery stores. We have discount stuff that not even Dollar Tree, $1.25. I can do it for 79 cents. Which I've never, I mean, I haven't seen stores like that since I was a kid in the North. The North doesn't even have stuff like that. I have it down here. I can get stuff cheap. So that means in bulk. And I can get it to them cheaper shipping. I can get it to them in a lot of ways that can happen. And I'm not going to be talking about that aspect so much on Roberts. Because it's like the Underground Railroad. You don't speak about it. You don't speak about it, folks. So, I did not pick a. Let's pick a. This whole show has been about this, apparently. Let's go back, though, real quick about trust. Because I know everybody, with any sense, with any logic to them, is starting to restock up. Which, good, do so, please. I grew up, I mean, it was just kind of generally known. I can't do it financially, really. that has not happened. But, everybody says, have enough in your savings account for 3 months of bills and have enough in the house for 3 months of whatever may happen if you lose your job, right? It's always about if you lose your job. I've never been able to do that financially. But I do. I always will have stock that can last us about 2 months or so. 3. If it goes into 3, oh yeah, I know how to eat beans and rice. That I'm not saying not to do, because everybody is focused on that, and I'm not saying not to do that. I think we should do that. There's going to be stuff that happens, especially towards the end of October. Everybody's talking about September. I think it's more the end of October, which I'll probably talk about that in covert ways, I guess you would say. So I'm not saying not to do that, but what I'm saying is, so if, let's say we're doing that, I'm doing that, right? I've always done that. I've always done that. Especially with cleaning supplies. For some reason in my household, we hoarded cleaning supplies above all else. I don't know why. It just happened in my household growing up. My mom did the same thing of like, well, shit. Even if we don't have anything to eat, we can clean the hell out of everything. I don't know. And my husband used to pick on me about it until COVID hit. And he went, oh shit, look at all of our cleaning supplies. So anyways, because the world was crazy about germs. So it go ahead, and you can do that. You can do that. But as you're thinking this weekend, because I'm sure everybody's going to go grocery shopping, I'm sure everybody's going to, all the blue collar laborers, right? We got paid, right? While you're thinking about, okay, I'm going to grab a couple extra cans of this, I'm going to grab some of this as I go, right? Because that's how most of us do it. We throw in an extra 3 or 4 items when we can. Whatever that 3 or 4 items might be, $12, not even, think about not doing that this weekend or next if you're a 2-week paycheck person. The extra maybe handful that you spend, $8. Think about not this weekend of adding to your stock, but add to the benefit, the fundraising happening for Maui. So like I said, I'm not asking anyone to put in lots. And we're going to say this again on Robert's show tomorrow night. I'm not going to be asking anyone to be giving a ton of money. Whatever you would be putting towards that extra stock in your house, maybe send that our way. And because you can go right back to your extra stock next week, right? So that's where we're looking at it, as little adds up over time. So, good morning, Love General Gem. Good to see you. So, oh, thank you. So, I entitled this, If Nothing Changes, Nothing Changes. And so let's go back to the trust aspect. Over time, all of us will go through something that either it's one of those we do or we don't moments. Either we trust or we don't. And that is kind of where we're going to be headed. That's why I've been talking so much about by October, especially towards the end, we're going to be, it's kind of like a stake in the ground. I know who I am. I know what I believe. I know my power. This is my stance. And I've been saying this for months, close to a year now. I mean, I've been saying it since, I think, the turn of the year. What that looks, though, in the spiritual concept, in the concept of you owning your power, in the concept of you in full acceptance of who you are, really means trust. You trust yourself. You trust the universe. You trust that they're not going to just drop you. Is it going to be bumpy? Yeah, it'll be bumpy at times. But we trust. And this is one of those times that I don't know all the scenarios in your life as to how you developed it. I don't know if you still lack it. And now it's going to be in your face in the next soon. And you're going to have to decide, do I walk forward in trust or do I collapse? Do I walk forward in trust or do I allow the weight of stress to capsize me? That's really what it is. I mean, our power that is given to us by the grand creator and source and beautiful light, that power is given to us and it is entrusted to us to use. And so for us to even step into our own power, we have to trust ourselves. And then we have to trust that if we're doing the right thing, the right thing will be done unto us. You could say it's the golden rule. You could say it's any of the Hermetic principles, especially reciprocity. You could say any of that stuff. If you're doing the right thing for humanity and the planet, then it's not going to fail you. So that's, I can't I can't give you trust. I can't, wherever along, what I can say though, is you can go back and go through your life in your mind. This is something I did 20 years ago or so. You can go back through in your mind childhood, young adulthood, wherever you are in life, your older years, and look at those times of, wow, that was a car accident that could have been fatal. Oh, that was a moment that could have been very destructive. Oh, that was an illness that I very much could have died from. Oh, that was this. That was danger. And how you're still here. How even, oh, that would have been a very detrimental relationship. That would have been very bad. Oh, this over here, that over there. When one door closed, another opened. You can trace through your life where the universe has provided and loved and cared for you, even if it didn't look like it necessarily. Going back now in retrospect, you can see something was helping you. Something was providing for you. Something was keeping you safe. I know plenty of people, my husband's one of them, that was in a car accident that he definitely should have been dead. Just dead. I mean, flipped, rolled car, head on into a pole. He should be dead. Not even really a scratch on him. I know my mother, the same thing. I know with my own life, there's numerous times that it showed some kind of force energy, some kind of positive energy, some kind of something shows up for you. Who I thought when I was young, the love of my life, together for 6 years, this is the love of my life, right? As a young person, I do anything for this person. He is now doing life. He turned in prison. He ended up murdering one of the most beautiful matriarchic person of our town. He murdered a very lovely human being. That happened well after I'm not with this person, and I'm not even in the same state. But when I was young, he was definitely going to be the one that I was going to be with for the rest of my life. And we played this on and off game for 6 years. Something was protecting me from that. Something said, no, this has to end. Something said, Cortney, you need to move on from this. He needs to move on. And thank God. Because we would have probably had kids and he would have did whatever ended up happening there. Right? So it doesn't have to be a huge car accident. It could be that relationship that didn't work out. There's a reason why. They're homeless and on drugs now. You didn't need that in your life. There could be reasons that are not just they saved your life. It could be many, many things that happened that felt very tragic in the moment. Felt very difficult. It took me years to get over that relationship. Years. Guys, I married the husband I have now for, God, we've been together like 14 years. When I first met him, I told him I was not over that. I even married my only husband, and he knew I was not over that other relationship. And I'm even marrying him. He knew this. It could be very tragic. It could be very tragic. It could be heartbreaking. It could be a lot that we need to heal from. But if we really look at it, really look into where's the God light? Where's the light of God in all this? Where's the light? It was very much present. Very, very much present for us. And that's the only thing I can say right now, is that if you're struggling with the concept of standing in your own power that is attached to trusting yourself and trusting the universe, that is the first step for me personally, is to relook at my life and go, yep, something was there that saved me from that. Something was there that saved me from this. Something was there that saved me from a lot of stuff. Something has helped me develop all these skills and all these things that I know and all these things and this heart of mine, right? Something has helped me to not give up on myself. Something, you see what I'm saying? So even when the hardest thing for people usually to actually have trust is because we can't identify what are we actually trusting. That doesn't matter. That's what I had to come to learn, is that we don't have to actually identify something in order to trust it. That is faith. That is faith. And true trust, complete trust, is when faith and belief come together as one. Faith represents, I don't know what the universe is. I don't know what this God light is. I don't know what source or creator is. But I'm going to believe, or I'm going to have faith, I'm going to have faith that they care about me. I'm going to have faith that things will work out as they should if I am loving myself and others as I should. And the belief that comes a part of that is when it actually starts manifesting for you. Belief, they say, is to believe in the unseen, the unknown, the this and that. I have to say, belief actually is attached to manifesting. Belief is actually attached to manifesting, and manifesting could simply be to start the belief. That day you feel better than the last. You just manifested, because manifesting also means demonstrated. You're demonstrating different positive feelings than you have before. You're demonstrating a different outlook on life than you have before. You're demonstrating, manifesting, how you communicate differently. All sorts of stuff. And as that slowly happens, we start going, I do believe things can be different. I do believe change can happen. Because I'm demonstrating / manifesting, same definition, a difference within myself. And then that belief, demonstrating, manifesting, as we're starting to believe that things can be different, turns into more tangible aspects. Oh, I believe this is going to happen. I believe that's going to happen, and my faith tells me so because it's never failed me. The universe has not actually ever failed me. When one door closed, another opened, right? Your belief grows and grows and attaches itself to your faith, and there you go. That is complete trust in self and the universe. And no one's saying trust others right now. We should, but we usually have to demonstrate it within ourselves first and start building the little things that I call show up for yourself. Just show up for yourself. Do as you say you're going to do. Give yourselves the affirmations that are needed. Take care of yourself. Love yourself. Give yourself that opportunity to go walk in nature, take some quiet time. Show up for yourself. And I will tell you, when you show up for yourself more often, the universe definitely shows up for you. So all of this is related. And you can put it into Hermetics. You can put it into any world religion is going to explain this to you, because it's all based on energy. Energy, as everything is energy, all is energy. Energy is given and received. It is released and attracted. That's what energy does. It is given and received, or released and then attracted. That's how energy works. That's how faith, belief, manifesting can work. So thank you all for listening. I know this has kind of gone on and on. Oh, Coke Queen. Okay, so Coke Queen asked, I'm not sure what is going on. Why are people stocking up? So Coke Queen, it's just been going. I know there are a few channels that are starting to discuss it again, that people are to be stocking up again. A lot of people are afraid that it's going to be another shutdown. A lot of people are afraid that it's going to be X, Y, and Z. I mean, they're just, the rumor mill of stocking up again is in play. I've heard through the grapevine that some people are even starting other channels to talk about prep and stocking and stuff like that. So once that so that's it too. There's always, in certain faiths, it's called a spirit has moved through the land. For me, it's just the collective consciousness is starting to spread that energy amongst their minds. So the collective consciousness is starting to talk about stocking up again, right? Which puts nobody in really a good way. What I'm saying is that I grew up with that kind of, I grew up with those from the Depression telling me to do so. And it had nothing to do with if something, it could do with you lose your job. I mean, it had nothing to do with anything. That's because they grew up in the Depression. So they knew that's a good idea. But we also know in today's world, people take it to an extreme. We learned that during Y2K when people started doing stuff like that. It was insane. I was like, what are you people doing? So the rumor mill, the collective consciousness is now starting to talk about that again. So that's why I brought that up, is if we do, we do. If we don't trust that all will be well when we love ourselves and others. Humanity taking care of humanity. But it is in the collective consciousness. So for some reason, my machine here is saying that I'm low on energy, which I shouldn't be because it's been plugged in the whole time. I think I did not, so I turned the mic off, folks. I apologize. I clearly don't know how to use my new equipment. So let's pull a card and we'll end with that. And also Remy. They said, last night they said, grab something from Remy, and I haven't even looked at it yet. But let's pull a card. There was a lot said, and if anything, start learning to build the trust. It's you can't stand in your power and own your power and be your power and understand your own God spark, your own light within, without trusting the universe. It's not possible. So let's look at that. It's really not possible. There's nothing more to say about that. It's not possible. So we're gonna pull a card from the collective, for the collective, from the Sacred Geometry deck for this weekend. All right, number 16, conception. The frequency of conception invites us to bring our consciousness to our origin, the place where everything in creation begins. It helps us to remember the infinite potential and possibilities of this space and what we can manifest through our own focused awareness and intention. I'm going to hold this card up. Lori, it's good to see you come in, my dear. I'm holding this card up. Conception. It's a beautiful card. And isn't that what we're doing? I entitled this, "If nothing changes, nothing changes," which is an old saying, but it's the truth. I'm working towards co-creating with all of you beautiful stars, a new earth. And it starts with humanity helping humanity, right? Not living in this concept of I gotta, take care of me first, but also a healthy helping. There's too many people that are helping, but it's in not healthy ways. It's in sick, codependent ways. I love you all dearly, but that is not how you do it either. We've been talking about that with the Edgar Casey Life Skills Study when we're in his secrets of the universe and how to use them to be able to help in healthy ways. So I am doing my part to co-create with you all. You beautiful stars, the light beings that you are, we're trying to do that, to get to and build a new earth. That is what my conception is. That is what we want to all birth. So we're capable of doing it. We are very capable of doing it. Let me read this card again one more time. Number 16, conception. The frequency of conception invites us to bring our consciousness to our origin, your star consciousness, which I am going to have to finish that series next Friday. Star consciousness is your origin, by the way. That is your origin. The place where everything in creation begins. It helps us to remember the infinite potential and possibilities of this space and what we can manifest through our own focused awareness and intention. This is why I have complete trust. My focused awareness and intention. My focused awareness and intention. My teachers call it steadfast focus, steadfast commitments, right? That is what we're doing, folks. I'm going to flip through Remy real quick because I was told to grab Remy, but I don't. Oh, I think this might work. This is what I turn to. Okay. It says union. Okay, on union. So let's read. There's a great feminine wisdom in these poems. Quality as opposed to Jahal. Many of the... Okay, so this is not the poem. I want to go to the actual poem, okay? I'm not sure. This says... Nets in the wind. Nates in the wind. I don't know if it's nates or if it's nets. I don't think I'm pronouncing that right. Gnats. Inside the wind. So let's read this. I'm just going to say nets because I'm not sure. I don't think I'm pronouncing it right. Some nets come from the grass to speak with Solomon. Oh, Solomon, you are the champion of the oppressed. You give justice to the little guys, and they don't get any littler than us. We are tiny metaphors for frailty. Can you define us? So, gnats. They're literally talking about gnats. So these little gnats turn to Solomon. Let's do this again, guys. Gnats inside the wind. Some gnats come from the grass to speak with Solomon. O Solomon, you are the champion of the oppressed. You give justice to the little guys, and they don't get any littler than us. We are tiny metaphors for frailty. Can you define us? Who has mistreated you? Our complaint is against the wind. So these gnats go to Solomon and say, hey, you speak for the oppressed, you help us, and all of those that are bigger than us don't get littler than us. And Solomon goes, who is mistreating you? Our complaint is against the wind. Well, says Solomon, you have pretty voices, you gnats, but remember, a judge cannot listen to just one side. I must hear both. Of course, agreed the gnats. Solemn the east wind. So he calls upon the east wind, calls out to Solomon, or the east wind calls out to Solomon, and the wind arrives almost immediately. What happened to the gnats? Such in a way of each seeker who comes to complain at the high court. When the presence of God arrives, where are the seekers? First they're dying, then union, then gnats inside the wind. So the wind comes, and it said, okay, so when the wind comes, what happened to the gnats and the plaintiffs? They were gone. Such in a way of each seeker who comes to complain at the high court. When the presence of God arrives, where are the seekers? First they're dying, then union, then gnats inside the wind. I actually love this. I love this. So I'm actually going to go back and read what I had began. Many of the images of what is like to be in union have this tone to them. A baby at the mother's breast, a river moving inside the personal fish, taking it to the ocean, gnats lost in the wind, a dead donkey that has completely muddled with the salt fat, the archer champion who lets the arrow fall where he stands. These are not heroic questioning images. What is it to praise? During a night of torrid wind and lightning everywhere, weather in North Georgia, a friend murmured, and when they say Georgia, this is overseas Georgia, not where I live in the state. Where do hummingbirds go in this? So horrible weather. The next morning, the hummingbirds, the same ones, were back fussing at the feeder. They know a hiding trick the gnats don't. I think sometimes that poems can be places to hide. Robes of like closets stimulating the experience they celebrate. What is the soul? Consciousness. So then we just read the one about the gnats, and I will tell you that is what we're looking at. So I just want to make sure I was reading those words right. So some gnats come from the grass to speak to Solomon. So these gnats have complaints, and they're saying we complain about the wind because the gnats have nowhere to hide. But it's also saying that right above that, the hummingbirds are able to weather the storm because they know how to hide instead of the gnats. The gnats are just complaining about the wind. And then when the wind shows up, it carries them away. Isn't that fascinating? The hummingbirds know when the weather picks up and the wind is that bad, I will just stay calm and do what I know to do, and everything will be fine. It's the gnats that have maybe lower consciousness that bitch and moan and complain, and a force greater than them, the wind, ends up carrying them away. Even when Solomon, who is represented as like the God figure in this, is wanting to hear both sides, a force greater than those gnats carried him away. But yet hummingbirds, they just do as they know to do. Fascinating. I guess we'll leave on that. Let's go back to the frequency of conception, though. So those hummingbirds, they just know what to do. Their origin. Their origin, right? The frequency of conception invites us to bring our consciousness to our origin, the place where everything in creation begins. You guys already know how to do everything. You guys already know all the Hermetic principles, reciprocity. You already know all of it. The place where everything in creation begins. It helps us to remember the infinite potential and possibilities of this space and what we can manifest through our own focused awareness and intention. So the hummingbirds doing what they know to do, they're safe, they're sound, they're calm. The next day they just go right back to the feeders. The gnats, though, they get carried away. Interesting. Interesting. So today was mostly about the benefit show that's going to happen on Milkyway Soul Tribe channel tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is to benefit those in Maui. If you can take anything away from this, which I appreciate you listening this whole time, and thank you to everyone in the chat. If you take anything away from this, it is to build the trust and really stand in your power, and your power is to help humanity. We only have a few reasons why we're actually here. We are here to help others in the planet. That's it. We're here to love ourselves and others and the planet. That's it. That's it. That's really just it. We have gotten very confused and in the conscious fog of forgetfulness as to our own power and why we're here. And I guess I'm proposing that the two are connected. And so if we have to start with helping others and helping to take care of humanity, that can also start to represent to you and show you how your own power with energy works. Like I said, energy is given and received, released and attracted. This is why, have you ever realized that when you let go, it shows up? Because energy that is released is attracted. Or when you give, you receive. These are all just standard principles of how energy works. So it was good to be with you guys, everybody. And this is not to be in any fear or anything like that. This is to know that you are the ultimate. Us humans, we are the ultimate. We are the ultimate. And it's very unfortunate that we think that we can't. I don't know where these limitations come from. I really don't. When you're a limitless being, so I don't know where these limitations on us come from. Well, of course I do. I know where they come from. I just don't know why they're still here. That's the thing. I just don't know why they're still here. Because we all are very smart, intelligent people. And here's the thing too. I think we go into this whole thing of like, well, they're still here because look at all the other people out there that don't understand. What does that have to do with the price of tea in China? What does that have to do with what you're doing? That we are mirrors of each other. We are. So unfortunately, all of us that do understand these things have the heart, have the power. We get caught up in what other people are not understanding, are not doing. We are mirrors of each other. All that's doing is stopping us, where then they can't see the reflection that they can do it themselves. We are blocking what we get so upset of them not doing. Yeah. How about them apples? It is. We are the examples. We are the ones that can help them see. There's nothing beyond it except us. So we spend a lot of time like, oh, they don't get it. They don't know. They don't know. Because we're not demonstrating it enough. Period. We get frustrated with them for being self-centered, for not understanding, for not waking up. What are we doing about showing it to them? For being that mirror. We are just mirrors bouncing off of each other. We are just light attracting light. We are just light attracting light. We are just energy attracting energy, giving and receiving. So if we're not in our own right, in our own self, in our own bodies of form, demonstrating it in healthy ways for others, then we can't blame them. We can't be angry at them. We can't. Because we're not doing it in our own right, because we're expecting for them to show up. We're not showing up for ourselves. Because we're waiting. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. And when we do start showing up for ourselves and others, and you pay attention to what happens, and I don't mean just once, continue to show up for yourself and others, you can see how it does make the difference, how it does change things, how people do then wake up and know that they can do it too. It's how energy works. Light attracting light. Light go back and forth to light. It's how it works. So I don't blame those who are not awake yet. I don't blame and get frustrated with them. I don't. I let them be where they are, because everybody's journey is a spiritual journey. They're not on my clock. They're not on my time. They have their own journey. But am I being the best representation of light that I can, so they can see that it's possible? That is my job. That is what I can control. That is what I can do. We get so caught up in what other people are doing and how they're not seeing the light. Maybe it's because you're not shining bright enough. Because you're more fixated on what they're doing. I hate saying it, but I see it everywhere. And all we're doing is blocking. We're blocking ourselves and others. So that's my little end of a very long rant. Food for thought, I guess, for this long weekend. So if you are amongst others this weekend, if you are going to go to a barbecue, if you are going to be with Robert and I on Saturday night at 10 p.m. on Milkyway Soul Tribe, think about that. We get so caught up in what other people are doing without recognizing how am I being a mirror for them? Am I reflecting light back to them? Think about it. I was taught probably 20 something years ago to ask myself for anything that I was like a party I was going to or a situation or whatever that I would have to be around people. I was told to start asking myself, what can I bring instead of what can I take away? And I might not be able to bring much of any kind of tangible anything, but if I can bring peace, calm, light, positivity, and whatever is natural to me. I had to write an article for a magazine this week, and I answered a question very similar to this. That it is not natural for me to get like bubbly and excited. It's very that's rare. Let's just say that. Not too much impresses me, and I don't get excited that often. I just don't. When I do, I do, and you can see it. But what is natural in me is to stay cool, calm, and collected through all things. Through all things. And when I started practicing that, just be calm and collected, it gave me it was so valuable in my previous work, working with young gang members in inner city areas around Chicago. And do you know how much value that was? When something was about to go down, a fight, guns are pulled out, whatever, because I am capable of staying cool, calm, and collected through everything, it ended immediately because that was the energy I would walk into it with. I could be in my office and hear some stuff popping off. I would walk right out because I brought the energy of being cool, calm, and collected through all things. It all would stop. It would stop. You work with what you got, but you do the light. You have your own light that you have to mirror out to people. You have to send it out. You have to let them see that they too can be cool, calm, and collected. Put the gun down. You guys have no idea how many times there's been guns in my face all over the place. Put the gun down. There's been times I'd be like, why the hell do you got a gun up in here? What's that for? Knock it off. I stay very cool, calm, and collected because that's what I can do. I'm not an excited, bubbly, happy-go-lucky person. There are those people. They're needed as well. They're needed. I can stay cool, calm, and collected, which was very valuable in my life. It still is. So that's what we do. That is what we do. We change the atmospheres of where we go. We show our light so it can be reflected back, out, and attracted. Out, released, and attracted. Released and attracted. Because I would be able to do that, stay cool, calm, and collected when that kind of stuff went down, who do you think they felt safe enough to talk to about all what was going on? Me. I was the one that knew what was going on. I was the one that they listened to. I was the one that we had mutual respect. Because I didn't get all crazy. I didn't have to freak out. Every other employee would freak out. That's the one thing my boss loved about me. He's like, Cortney, whatever happens, you seem to stay calm. And then you get everybody else to stay calm. Because that's what my world needed. That's what my community needed. Your community might need some optimism, some joy. Your community might need knowledge of how to handle resources. My community needed somebody to stay cool, stay calm. This ain't no big deal. Put that gun down. That's what my community needed. So we do that for each other. This was a very long rant, but I was trying to put it into actual perspective. So if you're going to a barbecue this weekend, think of the people that are going to be there. What are they going to need? Do they need optimism? Do they need, maybe they need a calm energy because August was very long and kids are getting back to school and maybe just everybody needs to chill out, right? Maybe they need that. You got to think about what is more natural for you, because there's a reason why you are in the community that you are in with what is more natural for you to release. That is how it works. And we can't, like I said, get upset with these people, any of these people that stay in ignorance, as we say, because we're actually being just as ignorant if we're not using our own energy to mirror to them that it can be done. It can all be done. Everything can be done. We are limitless beings. We are limitless beings. We are the only ones that put limits on ourselves. So that's... Happy Friday, folks. Go have fun. Be the light. Be the light wherever you go. And you don't have to, like, beam out light is what I'm saying. You don't have to be what is unnatural to you. I can hold the light and mirror for people. I'm calm. And everything else can remain calm. Right? If I chose to right now, I could go into Walmart. It's the first of the month and it's a Friday. Holy shit, you have no idea what Walmart is in the South on those days. I could go in there right now, and if I chose to say, I'm going to bring calmness, everywhere I would walk, you will be able to sense and feel people to, okay. Because even if they have the resources on the first of the month and Fridays, it is still crazy and hectic. You can calm things down. You could be the light. You can be whatever your community needs. So, I love you all. Have fun this weekend. Have fun here in the States. Thank you for listening. And this message has gone on for quite a long time, so I apologize for how long it was. They might be for the next couple of weeks. The messages might be a bit longer because of the benefits that I'll be trying to collect. The donations, I mean, the fundraising. So cheers to everybody. Go have a lovely day. Go do what you're going to do. Bye, guys.